Hello.
There he is.
Yeah, how you doing? You all right?
Doing good, man. You look good. You look good. Like the background, the whole setup.
Yeah, no, it's quite green in this room, isn't it? And a real like lockdown victim of plant buying.
Oh, wow. Yeah. You went crazy with the plants, huh?
And this is only one room, man. You just
I have this one here,
nice.
but now I'm really embarrassed to tell you that it's fake.
Ooh, I'm not one to judge. It looks nice, right? That's all that matters.
You can tell me I'm a big plonk if you like. It's
Oh, dude, just because I'm surrounded by plants doesn't mean I know anything about them. It doesn't mean that they're not all like gonna be dead within days or weeks. Well, at least yours isn't going anywhere. Yours won't wither away.
right.
Yeah.
I've done the real plants thing, and you find little growths on there, and it's like bugs flying around. And
Just a painful reminder of our mortality, right? We don't need that.
I have commitment issues already. I don't want to commit to a plant. It's good to see you, though, man. I haven't seen you. I have to show you this picture. This is the last time I interviewed you. This was in L.A. Let's see if you can see this.
Oh, yeah. Wow, that was a while ago, wasn't it?
That's 2015 at the Grammy Awards.
Wow. Oh, my gosh. I was so inappropriately drunk at the Grammy Awards.
Were you?
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't realize that it was a sober affair. And we're British, and at our award shows, generally people drink quite a lot. So
It's interesting that you say that because I have something to show you from that interview.
okay.
So in this clip, I was talking about how, in America, most things, like if it's a TV show with like a scientist or a doctor or something, they always have a British accent because for some reason, like Americans, we take on to like, oh, it's British, so he must be like smart and he must know what he's talking about.
Well, you say that. I think we're generally always the bad guy, right? Or the like shit love rival who's trying to get in with
So there's two things here. Woody asks for my money. And then you.
Smart and we believe it. Okay. You should give me all your money.
So he takes my money.
All right, there you go. I'll give you my money. Give me that watch as well. Yeah. There you go. That's a nice shirt, actually. Yeah. You don't want that.
I can't believe we just mugged you.
We just give in anything.
Here's the thing. You took my watch. I never got that watch back.
Shut up. Are you kidding me?
So you being drunk makes total sense out of it.
You never got the watch back?
No.
Dude, I'm so sorry. That's so bad. I can't believe it.
To be fair, it was just like a fossil watch or something.
I mean, that's not the point, regardless of what it was. I'm writing it on my hand.
No. I think it's funny. You know what? I would happily take the story as opposed to keeping that $40 watch. So.
The time you got mugged by some rubbish band from the UK. Oh, mate, I'm so sorry.
No, I think it's funny. And you know what? I kind of brought it on myself because like my dad's from London and my mom's from Liverpool. And I grew up on Merseyside there, so I have more of a connection to Liverpool. And we got into the conversation of my impression of somebody from Liverpool, and that's where this all went into theft.
I'm sure we talked about me getting robbed at a gig in Liverpool.
No, you didn't talk about that, actually.
You know what? I'm surprised that didn't come up. Yeah, I think it was one of our first tours. We have like a lot of artists like in-ear monitors.
Yeah.
And there's like a radio pack that sits on your belt. And I generally always like spend a fair amount of a gig in the crowd, kind of jumping around, because I feel a bit weird about the whole being on stage thing.
Sure.
And so I was like jumping around in the crowd, and particularly in the early days, it was like mega rowdy. People, just hands everywhere. And someone pickpocketed my radio pack, so I couldn't hear anything, and I kind of like crawled my way back up to stage and was like, hey, so to whoever robbed me in the crowd, like, wow, anything else you could keep it, but I need this for the gig to continue, and you bought a ticket to this gig which you're literally undermining, so you're the mug.
And those things are expensive, those in-ear packs.
Didn't get it back.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Somebody has that sitting on a shelf somewhere with the ticket.
Robbed at our own gig.
It's not uncommon though, isn't it? Because I've talked to artists even recently, like American authors, who said every time he goes down in there, he gets his ironically, his watch or his hat stolen, and he never gets anything back. So
I'm mortified about the watch. Sorry, dude.
no, I'm not.
It would be really great if I was just like, what, this watch? Damn it.
I think the band is in a better place than my $40 Fossil watch on your arm. That would be really weird. But you look good, man. You look good. You look healthy. Taking care of yourself. Eating good. Vitamins. All that.
Yeah, doing my best. I guess being in one place definitely regulates your sleep. You know, we were very lucky to get to travel as much as we did, and play as many shows as we did, you know, before this year. But it didn't do much for my sleep pattern. So I basically had no sleep for 7 years. So it's been nice, like, you know, reacquainting myself with what it's like to actually fall asleep. And I guess like a lot of people this year, it's been kind of weird and upside down and difficult. But I just trying to make the most out of a strange situation. How about you, man?
Trying to get the benefits out of it. Yeah, it's weird doing afternoon drive radio in Los Angeles from a side room into a computer talking to a wall.
Yeah.
But you know what the creepy thing is, and it's I need to really keep an eye on it. I'm getting really good at being alone.
Yeah. I think that's one thing a lot of people have to confront this year. It's so interesting hearing people who love their own company and are kind of maybe more introverted or a bit more anxious or just, you know, don't like going out. Hearing those people be like, yes, the entire world has come into my way of thinking.
Totally.
And then there's other people who like need to be busy all the time, like need other company. Like I can't, I'm rubbish at being by myself. But like, you know, you have to learn to adapt, don't you? You have to just get on with it.
Do you live alone? You live alone, right?
No, I live with a bunch of people. So I've been lucky enough I haven't really had to grapple with that, fortunately. But I mean,
with yourself, you mean?
Yeah. No, that's what songwriting's for, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. But no wife, no kids or anything like that, right?
No wife, no kids.
How relieved are you of that, honestly, right now?
Yeah, my friends who have little kids, you know, Woody in our band he's got 2 little kids, and it's been a very, 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 very different year. You know, obviously for people with families.
Yeah.
The idea of being in your house. Yeah, it's just mad. I mean, like, I know I'm saying very obvious things, but it just this year has just highlighted so many differences, you know, in some pretty dark ways, but also sometimes in some pretty funny ways. And yeah, you speak to people who are trying to, like, my sister's got 2 kids and has a full-time job, and so does her partner as well. And you know,
and these are the people that say, oh, you should have kids and settle down. It's amazing. Nothing better than having kids. And it's like all of a sudden now they've all gone quiet.
Yeah, totally.
They're not suggesting that anymore. But no, I mean, it's cool. I mean, everybody has their own reality right now. And it's...
Yeah, how about you? Do you live alone?
I do live alone. Yeah, never married, no kids. But I've always been that kind of... I think it's probably from when my mom, you know, we grew up in Liverpool and she was working and going to school at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit more free-minded, I guess, at that time. This was mid-'80s. And she was like, all right, I'm going to go to school. You can, you know, start off and ride your bike around the park. And I just got used to being alone. And so for me, this is normal. This is the easiest part of the whole thing. But I do have those couple minutes here and there where you get a little emotional. Yeah, of course. I think this year has wreaked havoc with everybody's everything. You know, I think there's been, it's forced a lot of people to confront a lot of things and reassess. You know, I live in London. So many people have, like, there's been a bit of an exodus. People just wanting to be somewhere with a bit more space, be further away from people. You know, loads of relationships have, like, fallen apart because people are suddenly having to spend 24/7 with each other. It's been such a wild year. I guess I feel very fortunate to sort of still be able to make music, which is pretty much the only thing I know how to do. You know, and you know, my family and my friends and people, you know, and myself have been, you know,
healthy relatively, all that kind of stuff. So I feel like there's been this time and space to get to kind of make a load of music, which I feel really selfish doing, but which obviously I love. Seeing so many like mates and friends and acquaintances who've like lost their jobs or just can't do what they want to do, what they love, and so that's been I guess kind of humbling.
It's kind of hard to, I mean, with you know, even people around here as well. I'm thankful for technology to be able to do all this still.
Yeah.
But it's hard because I see people struggling and complaining in it, but I'm trying to not form opinion because I'm not in their shoes, and it's just like you just kind of just keep your head down and keep your mouth shut.
Totally. And I do think it's like, I think obviously calling it the same experience is a really like narrow perspective, because obviously everyone's had such a different time this year, as everyone does in life anyway. But in having a kind of common thread to the year that at least everyone could, I think there's been, I don't know, like a shift, I felt like, particularly at the beginning, in like empathy for each people like kind of understanding and like maybe giving people the benefit of the doubt, just because of the understanding that fucking hell, it's weird as shit and everyone's having their own different version of a pretty sort of complicated time. Yeah.
But let's be selfish for a minute. You get to work on music. You get to do interviews across, talking to whoever, all from one room, and you don't have to put pants on. And
yeah, I'm not wearing any pants, obviously.
Great, same here. Let's just trust each other on that. And
I'm full Donald Ducking right now. Yeah.
I don't know what that means, and that's my sole source of comfort. I don't want to know what that means. Hey, who's doing your hair, by the way? I love this look, this blonde look that you got.
Well, at the beginning, it was my friend who I live with, one of my friends who I live with, and me, and it was pretty terrible. It was like luminous yellow and very patchy. Like,
are you buying boxed stuff at the store and then leaning over the bathtub and doing it?
100%. Yeah, just that. Exactly that. Yeah. It's pretty glamorous, man. Pretty glamorous around here. And then, yeah, more recently we shot a video, so a professional. But London opened up for a little bit again.
Yeah.
I got a real haircut. And it's amazing how having looked like a sort of nutty professor for the last while with like all this shit going on. It's amazing what a difference something like a haircut. It's kind of nostalgic. Like, wow. Also, this is very boring. I'm sorry for talking about my hair, but I've had a buzz cut for like 2 years. So this is the first time I've had an actual haircut. I used to buzz it myself. I used to, like, on tour, I'd just take a razor and I would lean over the bath or the shower or whatever and do it.
It's risky though, isn't it?
Oh, dude, it's so risky. The number of times, like, I love our fan base. They're brilliant, and I love them dearly. But they will never hold back from pointing out when we say the wrong thing, do the wrong thing, or like do something stupid. And the number of interviews I'd have where they'd like zoom in on like a strip where I just fully missed. I'd missed the yeah.
I cleaned this up last night with my own razor, number 3.
Oh, nice. Good job.
And then I got cocky and I thought, well, I'm going to clean up the edges here. I forgot to put the guard back on.
Dude. Oh, yeah, I used to do that all the time. Oh, mate. I did that to one of my housemates once. Yeah, he was like, oh, mate, can you just tidy up the back? And I went fully up the whole way. Did exactly that thing.
Oh, I was cleaning it off. I was like, man, I'm good at this. I'm wiping off the blades, and
suddenly
I forgot to put the guard back on. I'm like, oh shit.
Oh, dude. Yeah, no, I've been there. Don't worry.
So yeah, and you talked about your fans, man. You are really at one with your fans. I love seeing the engagement that you guys have, especially on social media, because it's easy to just post and then let people kind of have their thing and comment and talk to each other. But the fact that you guys are on it, and I'm guessing you're running the main Bastille page, right?
Yeah. And I guess I try and I feel like when we're on tour, I get really sucked into. I can be a bit of a phone addict and just because there's so much kind of downtime and traveling time and waiting around and. I mean, I wish if I'd spent like half the time I spent on my phone reading an actual book, I'd be so well read by now. But so I feel like on tour I can get really sucked into it, and I try when I'm at home to sort of not engage as much. So when I do, like when I post something, I want to stick around for like a bit and really engage with people.
Yeah.
And not just drop and run. So it's and particularly this year, it's been you know, social media can be so fucking divisive and awful in so many ways, but it can also be, as it was originally intended, it can be like an amazing way to sort of bring people together and talk about stuff. And I feel like this year I felt like so lucky for this sort of international community of misfits who happen to like our music, who we're lucky enough to kind of meet and have take the piss out of us and all that kind of stuff. And so, you know, I just want to, as part of why like releasing music this year has been so nice to just have something for us that has been a kind of creative purpose and the distraction of being able to make videos and work with other people and put music out and an excuse to sort of engage with this fucking great bunch of people. And that's why we did a film club as well. We've sort of throughout the year been doing this week by week, country by country.
The distraction
tactics. Yeah.
But see, what an amazing thing that you are doing for your fans, man. It looks so, from this side, it just looks so good.
So I'm just getting my charger because my laptop's about to die. I think it's thank you. It stemmed from wanting to do things to sort of help distract people at a difficult and weird time. And I think a lot of people who are creative for their jobs were desperately scrabbling around to try and think of ways to do that. And it was a thing that I guess week one, we chatted to Charlotte, a friend of ours who's a playwright and works in, you know, had written a play for us when we released our last album. Me and her were just chatting over text about like, what the fuck are we going to do? And came up with the idea of just doing distraction tactics pretty early on, just, you know, if anything more for us, just to have it in it. And it was like a weekly thing in a time where the days of the week melted away. And it was just like, oh, it's day today and it's day tomorrow.
Yeah.
It was nice to have a bit of regularity, and like just being able to engage with a bunch of people all over the world and chat about films and talk, you know, speak to filmmakers. And I guess the main thing with that was like getting to empower our fans who have opinions and put their questions and their thoughts to these filmmakers who, you know, we'd never have access to normally. So it was, it was cool, man. It was really fun.
Yeah, that is great. And your fans, man, they're funny. I was looking through the comments, even when especially like when you released the EP, just seeing some of the comments. People are creative as hell.
Yeah.
Like, some of these people, I love the One-Eyed Jack version. People love that. They comment and they talk to each other. I love how creative you guys are with the videos. What are some of the other ones? Thank you, Bastille, for saving the end of 2020.
I mean, I like it most when they just absolutely rip me to shreds and rinse. Yeah, like
I like it in response to Surviving. Somebody's wrote, "I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna be fine. I think I'll be fine." But obviously that's the lyric, but it's all in caps and there's tears, so it's almost like that. Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, everything's fine. And it's just, I love seeing the sarcasm on all these people.
Oh, mate, everything it's all dripping in sarcasm. It is.
I love that. It's that proper British sarcasm. I miss that. By the way, how close are you to Dulwich? That's where my dad is from. I don't know if you know where that is.
Dulwich?
Yeah.
Yeah, really close. Yeah, it's just down the road.
I've never actually been, but it's like South London, right?
Yeah. So I live in South London. I've got a friend that works just around the corner she runs a doctor's surgery in Dulwich. So,
oh wow,
yeah,
that's cool. I need to go visit that city, and it's like second uncle or third uncle's name's Leif Robinson, and I guess there's a pub out there that was named after him because he got the Victoria Cross and all that. So,
no way. What's the pub?
Yeah,
is it called the Leif Robinson?
Yeah, and when I went there last, I was staying over at the right on the Thames, over by the Tower Bridge and stuff, and I was like, oh, that's just a long train ride. But now,
it is a bit of a schlep.
I regret it.
But dude, it's not that far. The train's pretty quick. And where were you staying in London Bridge?
It's called the Chevelle Three Keys. It's right there off the Thames. I think I'm saying that right. The Chevelle, right next to Tower Bridge.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's just around the corner, man.
Yeah, so, I got to make that trip. But
you do when we're all allowed to travel again one day. Give us a shout when you're passing through. I'll give you a watch back.
Oh yeah, thanks. You know what? Upgrade it. It's been 5 years. Upgrade that thing. That EP, man, it's so cool. Isn't it interesting, though, how a chord and a melody and a lyric that can attach to fans so well? Do you ever think about, man, that came out of my face. That came out of my mouth, my head. Is that just a weird feeling?
I'm really bad at intellectualizing the things that we do, and kind of, I guess, I don't know, I feel like a lot of creative people, well, you'll make something and then you're like, right, what's next, and that's sort of, that's kind of how I operate. I think, you know, with Surviving, it was so uncalculated. You know, I wrote the song last year, it wasn't about this year, but it was talking
No kidding.
It was speaking to like my experience, you know, of British people being really bad at responding to, like, if I, like, how are you? They'd be like, I'm fine. Like, well, cool. I just kind of wanted to take the piss out of the idea that there's the really British idea of just not being honest with an answer and not sort of giving anything away. So and I love that phrase. I can't remember where I heard someone use it, but just it just says everything about what, you know, they were just surviving, trying to get from one day to the next, and, you know, life can be tough and shit and complicated and all these kind of things. And the song kind of became about my experience of coming to the end of like 7 years of touring, and the sort of mad ups and downs and the complications and the sort of head fuckery of all of that stuff. And yeah, and weirdly, we played it to our label like 2 weeks before lockdown begun. And our A&R guy, Joe, was like, fuck, I love this song, like, you've got to release it. I mean, in the same way, dude, that our last album that we released last year was called Doom Days. I think we have an annoying accidental habit of writing things that, I don't know, become more relevant. But yeah, I guess I felt quite weird with Surviving about putting it out, because I didn't want it to seem like we were, you know, jumping on this thing that was happening to so many people. But loads of my friends just kept saying, like, I don't know, whenever I get drunk and play it to a friend, they'd be like, dude, it's like, it's so relevant and it's kind of cathartic, just fucking put it out. And, you know, everyone we worked with was as well. So yeah, I guess the EP has been just it's been kind of vital for us this year to be able to collaborate with Graham Coxon, who I fucking love and admire. And, you know, make Surviving with a load of friends and have loads of friends sing on it. And John G plays saxophone on that song. And you know, it makes me really happy to hear it when I hear it, because, you know, I think of the experience of making it. I don't think of the negative things. And, you know, I think it's almost like a bit of a mantra of like, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be fine, I think.
But man, how eerie that came out. There's another song that came out earlier this year, that JP Sax song as well, If the World Was Ending. And that came out, and that wasn't even about this. That was about like an earthquake or something. And he's just like, God damn.
It is weird when that happens. I mean, even like, you know, the first song that we released, Pompeii, like, I guess it's just from having a lyric that's kind of can seem about a lot of things, but that every time something awful happens, people, like, sometimes to us, people are like, roll out that song and that lyric, like, does it almost feel like nothing changed at all? And you're like, oh, I didn't mean for it to be relevant, but, you know, it's weird, like you said, like, yeah, that somehow that wormed its way out of my brain and out of my mouth. And I guess that's the thing with songs, isn't it? It's weird. I heard Sia talking about it the other day in a podcast, and she was sort of saying, like, they're yours while you're making them, and then they're out there and they belong to everybody else, and they are entirely defined by how other people project themselves onto what you've said. So and sometimes things resonate and sometimes they don't at all, but that's kind of,
but it's probably cool to get that other view on it. It's like, oh, I never really thought of our song like that.
Yeah, totally. But, dude, so, yeah. Like, I have a very set image in my head of what all of our songs are about, but it's always nice to sort of hear someone come with a completely different interpretation. And I guess it's kind of gratifying. At least it means someone's listening.
I love hearing Graham on that, by the way. It's such that 80s, 90s, you know, new wave vibe that he adds to that song, man. It's so cool hearing that. And I grew up with that stuff, so it's nice.
Yeah, I mean, dude, like, for me, you know, obviously the era where we grew up, like Blur versus Oasis, like, it was a little bit before my time, but that was like such a big British thing. And I always loved Blur. I always found them, like, in my mind, to be a bit more interesting and kind of diverse. And then they've all gone on to do such kind of creative stuff. And yeah, Graham just, I'm a huge fan of his. I'm a huge fan of Blur, and we wanted to make something heavy and surprising and, you know, like a bit of a smack around the face. And yeah, we sent him the song, and he was totally up for being on it, which was great, because otherwise, if he'd have said no, I'd have
gutted.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and dude, it's just so exciting, sending a song to one of your heroes and then having them be like, yeah, I love this. Can I play on it? It was fucking awesome. And yeah, it was, the only thing that's weird, I guess, is that we didn't get to hang out in the studio and make it together. But yeah, no, it's like a fucking dream. So this whole EP's been really fun. And, we've been very busy with a lot of other stuff, but music.
But not being in the studio with someone that you love is probably a good thing anyway. I don't know if you're anything like me, you're going to say something stupid and embarrass yourself.
I can't ever hang out with people or speak to people that anytime I've met anyone famous or cool, or actually just anyone in life, I tend to say the wrong thing and embarrass myself. So it's probably for the best. Yeah.
Yeah, that song is surprising. The whole album is surprising, especially when you go if you go in order, 1, 2, 3, they're just so different. One thing I noticed as well, it's kind of cool, and I bet programmers love this. These songs are like really short.
Yeah.
They're under 3 minutes.
Yeah. One of our fans was in typical our fan style, was like, what the fuck happened to your middle eights? Where have they gone? Your bridges? What? They're like, your bridges are the best bits of your songs. Why have you stopped? And I guess, yeah, it's sort of part of this year for us as well was about collaborating and about, I guess, messing around with our process a bit. And yeah, the middle eights, they got the cut.
Gone.
Yeah, man. So I just wanted to keep things short. I think, what you're going to do, I wanted it to be like, it's here and it's gone before you're bored of it. And the same is Surviving as well. I think just wanted to challenge ourselves to be very direct. And yeah, the whole thing's like fucking 8 minutes long.
Right. But I guess it's kind of the sign of the times, isn't it? Because the attention span, how often are people getting to 3.5 minutes anyway? Yeah, it's funny.
It wasn't really about that at all. It's but it's just I guess it fits, doesn't it? Yeah, our songs have always been around like 3-4 minutes, and I think it was just part of wanting to like try different things. It's interesting. I mean, like of a lot of the new music we've made, nothing is that short, but I think it was just part of this. This year we wanted to just like drop music that didn't sound like what people would expect, and at times when people wouldn't expect it, as much to try and help distract people as to distract ourselves.
Sure.
So yeah.
I love Surviving, man. I love playing it. I'm glad we're going to start playing it more. It's such a cool vibe, especially right now. We need it.
Thanks so much, man. We wanted it to be like honest and kind of raw, but not depressing. I wanted it to have a kind of like tentative optimism to it, which is kind of what life feels like at the moment. Knowing that there's a vaccine coming, knowing some of the shifts in the world, like it feels, even though this virus is still very real and life is still very strange and a lot of people are having a hard time, just there feels like there's a potential, there's the potential for optimism in a way that hasn't felt like there could have been in quite a long time. So it's it's nice. But yeah, that song, like it was such a pleasure to make. Like it was so much fun, and sometimes
it almost messes with your head though, because it's the topic of it is heavy, but you've managed to I don't know how to word this. It's mentally confusing and attractive because it's such an upbeat chord progression and melody with a message that could easily be on a darker emo type track.
But I think the thing is, I think it is quite dark, the content, but it's also like, yeah, life is complicated and life can be really shit, and being an adult in the world is a messy business, but you might be okay. Like just keep going. I was gonna say everything will be fine. Who the fuck knows?
No.
It probably won't be.
No.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's that thing of like, I wanted like the beat and the production, everything is about like one step in front of the other, like just sort of like just keep going, and I guess the chorus and all the voices in the chorus, they're all like friends of ours and artists that that we're friends with or we've toured with or whatever, and it's about kind of surrounding yourself, enveloping yourself in the people that care about you and that you care about, and I don't know, I just wanted the whole thing to make with the saxophone that just comes like very, very loud out of nowhere. I wanted, as a listen, for it to like at every point give you something to grab your attention and to surprise you. Like having a brief moment of like heavy auto-tune on my vocal and having the saxophone just come out of nowhere, and then loads of vocals come in, and then some flutes, and then like a sort of St. Vincent-esque chainsaw guitar comes in at the end. Like I wanted it to be like a series of things.
And even that bass line, it's almost, I listen to a lot of like 90s jazzy hip hop like De La Soul and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah,
that. And
yeah.
that's what it reminds me of as well. It's
Totally.
very jazzy over
Totally.
that beat. It's
Yeah. And I think not what people expect from our band, which is kind of the point. Like I know I have a thing where like if I play a song to some of my friends, and that generally happens after a few drinks, probably out my phone, I'll be like, "What do you think of this?"
it sounds like shit out of an
Yeah,
iPhone.
of course, of course, of course. Like, as someone that spends most of my time in the studio trying to make things sound good, the fact that I then play it to people out of a fucking phone speaker is insane. But when I play people something, and like particularly my friends who like, obviously they're incredibly supportive, and some of them I'm sure really like our music, but some of them are like, yeah, whatever. When those ones like are like, oh wow, that's interesting, and I know like that there's maybe something special there, and I feel like we're surviving. I don't know, like enough people have said that that the lyric kind of has really resonated with them, as people have also said, oh wow, that doesn't sound like you guys at all, like in a really nice way, like it sounds really like different and spacious and kind of like nostalgic of like exactly the references you were just making, but also kind of, I don't know, yeah, it's
well, everybody changes. I mean, we're getting older now. I mean, you're mid 30s now. I mean,
actually way over the hill. I'm like practically dead.
I love it, man. I'm excited for it. I'm glad we're gonna blast the hell out of it in LA, and I want to make sure we try to play it more.
Thanks, man.
Cool. I'll let you go do your thing. I'm so appreciative of you taking time out in your green screen room.
It's so bad that like I've never used this wall as a green screen.
But you could. Isn't that funny?
I know, and it also I realize that as time has gone by and people have become more sophisticated with lockdown navigation, that it probably looks like that was the intention, and also, and I'm an idiot for not having used it. But no,
And with the plants, I mean, you could easily just be somewhere tropical.
I know, right? Like that, and that would be a really good cue to like change my background, but didn't do. Dude, thank you so much. Thanks for your time. It's nice to see you again, and sorry again about the Watchgate.
I would trade that watch for the story any day. So it's good to talk to you, and yeah.
Yeah, look after yourself, man.
All right, you too.
Take care. Bye.